Hey, Brogan. Did Boba Fett kill Owen and Beru? The answer is yes. Let me explain. Star Wars Theory Time. Okay, first off, Brogan, let me kind of set up why this is even a question that popped up on Google. Back when I was growing up, back in the before times, before the special editions came out, yeah, there was an older version of Star Wars that you've actually never seen, but anyway, basically all we had was we're just led to assume that that's the Stormtroopers.
These are the same Jawas that sold us R2 and 3PO.
And these last points, too accurate for sand people. Only Imperial Stormtroopers are so precise.
But why would Imperial troops want to slaughter Jawas? If they traced the robots here, they may have learned who they sold them to, and that would lead them back home.
Oh, wait, Luke!
So where the question of did Boba Fett kill Owen and Beru comes up is, it didn't really make that much sense that the Stormtroopers would have done what was presumed that they did. I mean, if the Stormtroopers thought that these people knew anything about where that droid could have been, wouldn't it have made much more sense for them to keep that person alive, maybe at least use them as either an interrogation method or as bait to get whoever back there that knew where those droids were. So it didn't really make that much sense that the Stormtroopers would do what they did if we just take it for exactly what they say in the movies. So finally, 20 years after the original release of the movie, they released the special edition, which in that they added some scenes of Boba Fett there on Tatooine at the same time as the death of Owen and Beru, Luke's aunt and uncle. So in order to kind of give more of a motive behind him doing that, we actually can look into Empire Strikes Back, which in that one we have the scene of...
There will be a substantial reward for the one who finds the Millennium Falcon. You are free to use any methods necessary, but I want them alive. No disintegrations.
As you wish.
Which that actually kind of suggests that Darth Vader has had previous experiences hiring Boba Fett to do certain things, and the result of those certain things ended up being someone being disintegrated. And also the way he actually kind of states at it, it actually comes off more like that was more of a recent kind of experience, where most likely the last time he had hired Boba Fett that he had actually ended it in that disintegration. Within the last few times that he had hired him, it had ended in the target being disintegrated. So if you can imagine, if Vader is really trying to get the plans to the Death Star as he was at the beginning of New Hope, it was basically kind of a thing of he was going to try to do whatever he could to get those plans back, which if Boba Fett was there at the time, he obviously would have been looking for those bounty hunters or someone out there to try and get those plans back at any means necessary. So it wouldn't be that big of a stretch to assume that he knew that Boba Fett was there, so he went ahead and hired him to try and get those plans back. But he wouldn't be above going to those drastic measures to, in essence, do whatever he can to get this job done. Okay, so we set up Boba Fett's there. He most likely was hired. He had the opportunity because, I mean, when you actually do see him, he's just kind of walking around, not really doing that much with Jabba. So it would make a little bit more sense that he probably did some stuff before he got to that scene when that he is shown in the hangar when Jabba's having that conversation with Han. So, with the conversation they had in Empire, we know that Darth Vader's stressing no disintegrations, which would assume that Boba Fett had previously disintegrated someone, which, if you look at the way Owen and Beru are kind of brutally destroyed in that's pretty much disintegration. I mean, their skeletons are still there, but that's more than just laser blast, and probably more than what fire would do in the amount of that time. That's pretty close to being disintegrated. So basically the theory is Boba Fett was there, hired by Vader to track them down. Boba Fett went a little bit too far, disintegrated them, leaving just their skeletons and remains of the house. So then by the time we get to Empire, that's where Vader stresses
No disintegration.
So there you go, Brogan. Kind of a cool way to think about it, and also adds a little bit more depth to the character of Boba Fett, even though he was kind of really sparsely used in that trilogy. Adds a little bit of background to him, kind of makes him a little bit cooler, I think. So, Brogan, go ahead and let me know if that made sense to you. If you didn't understand it, go ahead and everybody else down in the comment section down below, ask for clarification. That's all I got for you today, Brogan, and I can't wait to see your response on Tuesday. Oh, and to answer your question, Brogan, yeah, it's awesome armor.